Airmobile Movement and some of the nuances that go on there with doing Airmobile Movement on the operational map. So before we start, though, I want to point out some helpful things. So on the back of the standard game sequence of play, you got this handy dandy advanced game air defense resolution chart. So since we're doing Airmobile Movement, we want to take a look at that. So notice that if the Airmobile Movement occurs inside of an enemy country or within 2 hexes of an enemy HQ, then you get to roll against that Airmobile mission with local detections. And if you detect them, you get to fire SAMs only. However, if that target hex also happens to be within 2 hexes of an enemy ground unit or an installation, if they're detected, then you also get some local AAA against them. Notice that if it's in a friendly country, the mission will auto-succeed. One of the wrinkles for Next War Poland is you got this guy over here, this S-400. Really, he's up in Kaliningrad, but I put him on the map so you can see him. On the back of the game-specific rules, we've got this kind of handy-dandy little cheat sheet here. So if you come down here, you see S-400 on the operational map. All Allied air and helicopter missions on the operational map and other places, right, are treated as if the Allied mission was in an enemy country. So what that means is, even though we may not land next to an enemy HQ, Poland normally would be a friendly country that would auto-succeed. The S-400 makes all of this Polish area an enemy country, so the Russians are going to get to roll local detection. So my first move, I'm going to move this Polish 25th Air Cav right here. Notice he's in an airbase. When you trace an Airmobile Movement, you always have to start tracing from an airbase or an airfield. Your unit doesn't have to start in that airfield, but you start tracing the movement from the closest airfield. But before we do that, he's not an intrinsically Airmobile unit, so we got to come up here. Notice we have 3 Airmobile points, so I'm going to move my used marker up 2, because 25th Air Cav is a 2-step unit, and then I'll just start counting, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, he can get over here. Now, he wants to attack this guy. We'll land in the woods. He wants to attack this guy in ground combat, so we want to land next to him. And again, normally speaking, if the S-400 wasn't on the map, there would be no ADF. This isn't an HQ, and he's not within 2 hexes of that HQ, so he would just auto-succeed because Poland would be considered friendly. The S-400, however, makes it enemy, so there'd be local detection and SAMs, and because he landed next to a ground unit, if he was detected, he'd get some AAA. So over here, we're going to talk about the 101st. Now, they are intrinsically airmobile, so I don't need to use an airmobile point on them. I have them off to the side because they're in Germany right now. So I want to go back to the back of the game-specific rules again. And up at the top, you can see there's this transitioning to and from the operational map. So if we start in Germany, we can skip the ground unit because we're using Airmobile Movement. So to go to the operational map, you enter the western map edge having used 7 movement points. So of his 24, he's used 7 to come on. That gives him 17 left, and that's pretty much enough to get anywhere, right? So we're going to put him. He's going to come over here. He'll sit and take out this HQ. So we have 1 movement point or 1 airmobile operation left. I've got the 2 and 3 pairs sitting up here. They're not on an airbase or an airfield, but I also want to point out there are 2 half strength point units. So it's only going to take my 1 remaining airmobile movement point to move both of those guys. Since they're starting in the same hex, I can use that 1 airmobile point to pick them both up. I would start counting from Gdansk. It's the closest airbase or airfield, right? 1, 2, pick them up, and then 22 more hexes for Airmobile. Doesn't really matter where we put them in this instance, but what I want to talk about is they started as the same mission because they started in the same hex, but because there's 2 units in there, I can drop them off in 2 separate hexes. And that's true of if you had two stacking point units and they started stacked together, you can drop them in 2 separate areas. If you do that, though, they become 2 ADF opportunities, 2 air defense fire opportunities, not 1. Now, if one fails, the other one can still make it through. So that's pretty much Airmobile Movement on the operational map. Hope this helps. Thanks.